everyone. Welcome to the NRL to people around today. You join is about to do feel it. Oh, let me just get my. Okay, yeah, you join me as a lobby glitch. A lobby glitch meant that we have been delayed from starting this race. Hopefully you can all hear me alright, but interesting tyre choice. David on the softs, taking pole. Stein P2. Takeo, reigning champion, is P3 in the Mercedes. Force is P4. Piero is P5 and has a very nice Mexican helmet. I like it. I like the vibe. Natty is P6 for today's race. The players will start 7th on the soft compound tyres. Eddie RT Wiggly Star, Addictus Racing Team Wiggly Star, starts P8 on the soft compound tyres. Obviously recently signing for ADRT, which is a good move for him in the esports scene. Stretch starts P9 in the Haas. M Cloud will be 11th in the Aston Martin. Toaster will be 11th in the 10th in the Aston Martin. Then M Cloud 11th on the mediums as well. Toussaint and Tiger and Bonnie all round out the grid. Everyone going for the medium tyres from P10 downwards. Bonnie Val starting from the back with also a very nice Mexican helmet, just like his teammate. So let's see how this race will go as we go towards and it's lights out and away we go. It looks like Stein got a very good start, but it looks like he's bogged down in the second phase. Here comes Takeo and Force, who are going to get passed down towards turn 1. Luke Rosman joined the session, unfortunately too late. Force is having a look at the cars ahead. Takeo's up into P2. Force has lost some of his wing on the back of Stein towards turn 1. It looks very clean. TH4 players are spun around by Stretch out of the first corner. ADRT Wiggly Style has dropped some positions. M Cloud is up to P9. Piero has gotten past Force down towards turn 1. Stretch Artis and Toaster going side by side. Stretch doesn't leave a lot of space around the outside, and Toaster has to settle for P8. And as it stands, Wiggly Style I think might have damage as well, as he's fallen down to P12 in this race, unfortunately for him. But he does make a nice defensive move to get past back past the Alpine of Toussaint. But at the front, as we have a bit of action, is M Cloud I think was looking at Toaster and got the move done. But at the front, no change. Takeo is up into P2, and they run 1 and 2 like they did here last week in Jeddah. And Force is into the pits. We saw him hit the back of Stein. His Stretch is also in. He made contact with TH4 players, which has seen the Brazilian drop to P12 and has seen Stretch get wing damage. So both drivers onto the medium compact tyres. The Stein has a massive moment, and that's allowed Piero up into P3 of this race. Already up into P3, a much better showing from the Frenchman in his second race in NRL. And as it stands, the ERS levels are around equal, apart from Natty, who has 87% ERS. Great management from the Alpine so far. Hopefully he can do something with that superior ERS as he looks to try and get a podium after not doing that well in round 1, but RS Cal is already up into P6 on the medium compound tires. ADRT Wiggly Style got past Tiger Assassin, but it looks like he ran a bit wide. Might see some action from Bonnie, who tries to have a look down the inside, but Tiger Assassin defends it well in towards turn 1. Fastest lap for Takeo, and Bonnie and TH4 players are having a bit of a duel, and TH4 is all over the back of the Red Bull on and Force is out of the race. Force just crashed in sector 2. Could that be a safety car? Yes, it is. It's a virtual safety car, so that could be upgraded, and most likely, knowing the F1 game, will be upgraded to a full safety car. So on lap 3 of 36, we already have a safety car in today's race. So at the moment, it looks like it's just going to stay virtual, so that could be the saving grace for some of the front runners who would have been left with a tough decision whether they boxed onto hards like we saw some do in yesterday's tier 2 race, or whether they stayed out on the softs or possibly boxed mediums. But at the moment it looks like everyone has boxed. Everyone is going to stay out, as it's not a full safety car and only a virtual safety car. But the virtual safety car has ended and we are underway again. Take a good restart, sorry. The gap's already up to 2.6 between the top 2 and the Red Bull in P3. Saint might have a look, but TH4, who was going to go for that move on the Red Bull we saw right before the first VSC was called out, might have another look here. But they both have DRS, so the Alfa Romeo's effect is cancelled out. But Tiger Assassin has, unfortunately for him, picked up a 3-second time penalty already in this race. So disaster for the Aston Martin is Bonnie has a bit of a moment on the rear end out of turn 3. So TH4 is very late on the brakes and almost collects Bonnie into turn 4, of course. But looks like he will have to stick behind for another lap, as Toussaint is now looking all over the back of Tiger Assassin, who's seeming to struggle on his mediums already. We saw him pick up that 3-second time penalty, but at the front the gap is down to 5 tenths, and Takeo has DRS and superior ERS. Will he go for the move towards turn 1, or will he just stick behind and save his ERS up? It looks like he will do the latter, as he is not deploying any of it down this main straight. But he does get close. What about Stein? Stein looks like he's going to sit behind Piero. Will we see any action towards turn 1? Not at the moment. Maybe towards the back is Toussaint and TH4. Toussaint is going to go side by side with Tiger Assassin. TH4 is going to look for a move on Tiger. Tiger's going to leave the room. TH4 is going to go around the outside, touches the grass a little bit. Has to leave room for Bonnie, who's going to get the switch back on the Alfa Romeo. Tiger Assassin runs wide out of turn 3. But it looks like TH4 is up into P11. And TH4 going for a late move on Tiger, who ran a bit deep into the corner. Luckily no contact was made, but he does give the Red Bull a bit of a squeeze on exit of turn 5. But it's all fair, and very nice move from the Alfa Romeo, who's now up into P11 after being spun around at the start of the race. But Toaster picks up a 3-second time penalty, making the Alfa Romeos and Stretch at the back the only 3 cars, to have penalties in this race so far. So not the greatest look for the Aston Martin driver, who is seemingly struggling at the moment, as he's fallen 3 seconds behind. He's fallen 3 seconds behind. 3 seconds behind RS MCAM, but there's some action at the front, but it looks like David will stick ahead. But ADRT Wiggly Style is going to look for the move on Toaster, maybe. No, he decides to stick behind, but TH4 will not stick behind his Tiger Assassin. He'll be setting up the exit out of turn 3. And he has a bit of a moment, but it doesn't look like he'll be close enough to attack. And Tiger Assassin is just going to stick behind into Saints DRS. So at the moment, no position changes on that lap, but I presume ADRT Wiggly Star will be getting that move done very soon, as he is very close to the back of Toaster and threatening to move up into the top 7 and past one of the alternate strategy runners. Of course, here it is a 2-stop is the preferred strategy. You can do soft, medium, or you can do soft, medium, and of course alternate strategy if you start on the mediums instead. But at the moment, no change at the front this lap, but Takeo is going to look for it. David defends the inside aggressively. Takeo is going to go around the outside. Will he get the move done down towards turn 1? He leaves the room, but Takeo is up into P1 in this Mexican Grand Prix and leads from Euro David, as Wiggly Star makes a very similar move to his teammate and moves up to P7 in this race. Great move from the Mercedes driver, who's now up into the top 7 already and can now look to mount an attack on the car ahead of him, which is RS M Cloud on the medium compound tires. So it'll be interesting to see how he does with Toaster, as RS M Cloud picks up a 3-second time penalty on the medium compound tires, just like Toaster, Stretch and Tiger Assassin. So they're the only 4 drivers to have penalties at the moment. But keep an eye on RS M Cloud. He's sticking quite nicely with Natty G, but TH4 players went for a bit of a spin there. I think out of the second sector, David is going to get back past Takeo towards turn 1, and Stein is going to get the move done on Piero towards turn 1 as well. 80% compared to 40%. The IRS driver has a lot more pace at the moment and is making it work. TH4 is into the pit lane, and maybe Tiger might have a look at Saint on the exit of turn 3, but it looks like he will just stick behind at the moment. TH4 has been held in the pit lane by the Red Bull. Oh no, he hasn't been held, he was just lagging, and it looks like Bonnie's also in for the hard, so maybe there was a bit of contact between the 2 drivers, or Bonnie unfortunately got caught up in the incident when TH4 spun. So that could be unfortunate, but IRS M Cloud has spun and he's lost all of his wing, and all his good work has gone to waste, as he now drops down to P10 in the P9, sorry, in this race, and has no front wing. Possibly a safety car could save him. David's in, Takeo is in. Will Stein box? Stein stays out. Piero boxes, Natty boxes. ADRT Wiggly Star will be the next one to come towards the pit lane. Will he box? He stays out. The medium compound, Toast has a bit of a moment, but the medium compound tire runners will obviously stay out, of course, under the safety car. So could Takeo and David have made a mistake, as they now drop to P4 and P6, and what's even worse for Takeo is that he is now behind an Alpine driver in Tusain and has to make the move to catch back up to David. So this has not worked out quite as the Mercedes driver would have liked, as he's now fallen many positions, but he hasn't looked down the inside. Toussaint leaves the room. He's going to go for the switchback on the Alpine driver, send it down the inside. Brilliant move from the Mercedes driver, who's sized up Toussaint perfectly into the double apex and gets the move done up into P5, and he's now right behind David as well, just like he was before the pit stops. But the bad news for him is that he's fallen out of the DRS. The good news is David will also have some traffic of Wiggly Style and David, and Wiggly Style will be looking to hold up David so Takeo can get back towards the DRS and hopefully back in the provisional race lead as it stands. But Seiko is now going to have, he doesn't have DRS, so like I said, he's falling on DRS reign. David's going to get the move done on Toaster immediately down the main straight, wasting no time at all, and puts another car between him and his main competitor in today's race. And now he has to negotiate his main competitor's teammate, who I'm sure will not be easy to overtake at all, as he will be looking to hold him up to bring his teammate back into play for this race win. But at the moment, Stein leads by 9.5 seconds, and that gap is getting eroded away as the new medium compound tyre runners are much quicker at this point of the race, and so are the medium tyre runners. Looks like Taker is going to look for it on this straight, but David might look for it. No, he's going to stay behind. Taker is going to go for the move down the inside of the Aston Martin. He doesn't have any time to waste. He needs to make these moves to get back into the DRS of the McLaren, who's right on the gearbox of Wiggly Style. Will Wiggly Style be able to defend this? He can try, but it'll be almost impossible. The McLaren just has so much more overspeed, ERS and DRS, and flies past the Mercedes down the straight. Maybe he can try something on the exit of turn 3 down towards turn 4, but at the moment he just has to stick behind and settle for P3. Hopefully his teammate can catch up to him very quickly. M-Cloud is out of the session. M-Cloud says crash for sure this time, and that is going to be a safety car. And this is great if your name is Stein, as he gets a free pit stop, and he's currently P1 in this race. So he'll be able to box for new medium compound tyres and hopefully come out still in the lead of this race. But it might be tight, as look where David is on the track. He's only 10 or so seconds behind the AlphaTauri, so it'll be tight to see who comes out in front. But I think David will just pip it off the safety car because of the delta. But this is great news for IRS Stein and Wiggly Style, who now get a free pit stop onto the mediums. However, they will lose quite a bit of time. Unsurprisingly, Stein is into the pit lane for new soft compound tyres, and for new medium compound tyres, and Wiggly Style also into the pit lane as David gives him a little dummy, but he's not falling for it. So who will come out in front? Is David easily out in front, but Stein should come out in P3 as all the medium tyre runners are boxing, and Stein retains his, no, he actually overcuts Piero, who was running P3 in front of him by 3 seconds. So good stuff from the AlphaTauri crew to get their driver back out in P3 of this race on the freshest tyres. So now he can attack those in front of him with 100% ERS and with DRS. But at the moment, Natty is obviously on the mediums. Wiggly Style going for new mediums. Toaster and Toussaint opting for new softs. Tiger Assassin splitting the difference at Aston Martin as he goes for the hard compound tyres. Ronnie stays out on his hard compound tyres. Stretches into the pit lane for new mediums, and I believe TH4 boxed a lap before the safety car, so he's also on a brand new mediums. So it will take us at least 2 laps for everyone to catch back up to the safety car, but hopefully we should get racing soon again. So in that time, whilst we are waiting, I'll use that to hopefully update you on the standings if the website wants to load today, but I don't think it wants to. But it is Euro David who's out in front right now, out in front in the championship after winning last race in Jeddah. Fantastic performance from the McLaren driver, who had a very close battle between him, Takeo and Crumpton, who is a tier 1 reserve, who's not racing today. So very close battling from the trio, but in the end David was able to extend his gap and pull away in the second stint after doing a nice undercut on the 2 cars in front of him. But yeah, Takeo finished P2 in that race, as he's currently running P2 right now as well. So nothing has changed from the previous race for the top two. Who are seemingly dominating this tier at the moment. But in P3, in last week's race, we had Iris M Cloud, who was the DNFE who brought out the safety car in today's race. P4 was Crumpton, of course, so I mentioned earlier, he's not racing today. TTG Tom finished P5, also not racing today, but is full-time at McLaren, who leads the Constructors' Championship with 35 points, I believe. Luca Rosman, who qualified but wasn't able to make this race as his Wi-Fi disconnected, finished in P6. Wiggly Style, currently running P6, finished P7 last race. Piero, P4 right now, finished P8. Bonnie, P9, and Natty G in P10. But the safety car is in this lap, so be getting ready for a very fast restart. Is David gonna go? It looks like he is gonna go off of the final corner. And oh, Iris Steiner's had a shocker. Iris Steiner's spun out of the final corner, and he's left the session in frustration. Disaster for the AlphaTauri driver, who drops to the back of the grid. Luckily, no safety car is produced, but it looks like the top two got an amazing restart. Natty's going to look for the move, but can't make it work. Wiggly Style is going to have a look at the Alpine driver in towards turn 1, but he can't make anything work. But Toaster now is going to have a look at him. Stein has been disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous location, and Toaster makes a brilliant move around the outside on the soft compound tyres on Wiggly Style, who's seemingly struggling, as now Toussaint is going to have a look at him, but he can't make it work, unfortunately for him. Tiger Assassin stays PA, with Bonnie Val also retaining his P9 of the restart. Stretch RT's up to P10, and TH4 has fallen 5 seconds behind, but the top two, it's order resumed for them as they are driving away again in this race, and no one can seemingly touch them. As Stein, we saw, I think, had the bug on the safety car restart, as yeah, there's some bug in the game where I think drivers can't fully press down the throttle on this safety car restart. But here comes one man who's definitely pressing down the throttle. Toaster down the inside of the Alpine of Natty wants to make these soft compound tires work. He's going for the switchback on the Alpine driver. The Alpine is going to look, is going to try get the bare exit, but he can't do anything against the superior grip of the Aston Martin. As it stands, he's going to try fight it around the outside. Toaster's going to leave the room, but he's going to get the move done out of turn 5, and now he can set his sights on the Red Bull in front of him, who's currently 1.2 seconds in front of him. A great move from the Aston Martin, who's now up into P4 this race. Wiggly Style will now have a look at the vulnerable Natty, who's maybe a bit dazed after that fantastic move from the Aston Martin. But one man who's not making the softs work right now is Toussaint. Unlike the Aston Martin of Toaster, he isn't able to get his tyres fired up and make the moves as of right now. But DRS is enabled. Takeo doesn't look like he'll have the speed to attack David on this straight as of right now. But Toaster is going to use his ERS and DRS to hopefully attack the Red Bull. But it doesn't look like it. Toussaint is going to attack Wiggly Style down towards turn 1. Oh, Toaster had a bit of a look on Piero, I think, but he thought better of it. Toussaint down the inside of Wiggly Style into turn 1, into P6. Alpine going to invert the order of their cars on this lap. At the moment, doesn't look like it, but Toaster just not able to get past on those fresh soft compound tyres, as he did not have the overspeed. But I'm sure he'll be able to make something work next lap, where he will have DRS available to him. Will Alpine invert the order like I said, or will they stay as it is? As whilst people in front were battling, I missed Stretch Artiste has gone past Bunny for P9 in this race, as Bunny picks up his first 3-second time penalty of the race, and TH4 has closed that gap to now 2.4. Looks like Wiggly Star made a bit of mistake, because Tiger closed 5 attempts through that corner alone, and is now all over the back of the Mercedes, so could look for a move down towards turn 1, and one man that will be looking for a move will be his teammate Toaster with the DRS. He's going to fly past the Red Bull down towards turn 1. Toaster's up into P3 in this race, and Taker and David are having a duel at the front. David just about maintains his P1, but Taker's going to fight it back down towards turn 4. David's going to deploy the ERS. He's only on 19% compared to Taker's 40 already. Taker's going to send it down the inside, just about slows the car down, but David defends well and maintains his position. Great battling from the front duo, but at the moment you say the cards all lie with Taker, who has superior ERS compared to the McLaren driver in front of him, and also will have the benefit of DRS. Good stuff from the Mercedes driver, who's just put enough pressure on the McLaren, who's now had to use up a lot of his ERS already, and we're only 3 or 4 laps after the safety car restarts. Piero picks up the 3-second time penalty, but let's look to the front, where where David will be defending from Taker, and where Taker will be looking for the move that'll put him into P1 in this race. Taker is going to ride in the slipstream of the car ahead. He's going to pull out to the left, go around the outside of David. Will he make it work? David goes deep. Taker sails in the dummy, does the switchback, but he's going to look for another move down towards turn 4. Wiggly Style has gotten back past Tiger Assassin, overtook him, I think. Taker's going to look for it again down towards turn 4, but he thinks better of it at the last moment and doesn't commit to the move like we saw him do last lap, as Bonnie Val and Stretch having a bit of a battle, but Bonnie wins out in the Red Bull driver. Great racing from everyone here today so far, who is keeping it very clean. But let's have a quick look at the penalties. Toaster in P3, despite his good pace right now, closed the gap down to 2.9 at the front. He has 9 seconds of penalties, which is not going to help him at all. Toussaint only has 3 seconds, he's up onto P4 on those soft. Piero has 8 seconds, which I presume will be 5 for colliding under safety car and 3 for extreme track limits. Tiger Assassin with 6 seconds, Bonnie with 3, Stretch with 9. But let's jump back to the front, where none of these drivers have penalties and will both be racing till the finish, hopefully. Just pure racing. Is Taker is going to attack David into turn 1 again. He's going to think better. He's going to wait for the DRS down towards turn 4 and maybe look to launch an attack then. All this battling is only helping Toaster and Toussaint to close up to these 2 cars in front. But at the moment it looks like Taker is going to stick behind for this lap, and Stretch picks up another 3-second time penalty. But Tiger Assassin sees ADRT Wiggly Styles light flashing, but he doesn't have too much ERS himself either. Stretch is having a look all over the back of Bonnie Val, who's currently running P9 in this race and struggling to make it count on those hard compound tyres, which are 10 laps old now, so they will not be at optimum grip level, as Taker will be looking for the move here. He's a lot closer than he was at last lap. Surely with the DRS and the ERS he'll fly past. He has about 30% ERS advantage compared to the McLaren driver in front. This should be a pretty textbook move for the Mercedes as they run down towards turn 1. He's going to look around the outside once again. Will he sell him the dummy, or will he go for it? He goes for it, and Taker, after many laps of probing, is finally back into P1 in this race. But David is not going to have this. He's going to look for a move back in turn 4. But no, he doesn't have the DRS due to the 1 detection point. So he will stick behind, and Wiggly Style is round. Wiggly Style has, unfortunately for him, had contact, I think, or maybe lost it himself. But he's dropped to P11 and last in this race at the moment. But Stretch will be having a look all over the back of Bonnie Val, who is trying, Stretch is trying to move up into P8. We've seen him attacking the Red Bull for multiple laps now as David is getting very close to Takeo, but he doesn't decide to have a look, so I presume he will be going for the look back on this main straight. But Stretch got another 3-second time penalty. He's just not able to keep it within the confines of the track as of right now, as he is pushing so hard to try get past this Red Bull. Makes a bit of contact into the stadium section. But let's cut back to the battle at the front. Oh, I thought TH4 had a moment. Is David going to look for it down towards turn 1? It looks like the McLaren driver is going to look for it right at the end, but he sells Takeo the dummy. Takeo doesn't fall for it and keeps his composure into turn 1. But David's going to have another look down towards turn 4. Can the McLaren driver get it done on the brakes, or will he just stick behind for now? Looks like he's going to stick behind. But let's cut back to the battle for P8, and Bonnie has forced Stretch a bit off track, but Stretch is going to have none of it. He's going to attack the Red Bull driver down towards turn 4. He's going to give him a bit of a squeeze to the inside. He's going to try go around the outside. A great move from the Barbadian driver. He's now up into P8, but he has a massive moment on the rear out of the corner, and Bonnie is going to fight back, give him a bit of a squeeze himself, and Bonnie is back into P8. Great defending from the Red Bull, and it's all it's elbows out racing from the Red Bull and the Haas, who are fighting very hard today, trying to secure as many points for their team as possible. But what this has done is it's dropped Bonnie out of DRS range of Tiger Assassin, which means he'll be vulnerable to attack down this main straight we are watching right now, as David will now have a look at Takeo, who's P1 in this race. David gonna go down the inside, pretty routine move. Takeo doesn't fight it too much, and now David is leading again. Multiple lead changes in this race, of course, and it will be the Mercedes is in front at the moment, but Toaster still running strong in P3. The gap hasn't really come down like he would have wanted on the 2 cars ahead, and I think those soft tyres are starting to reach their limit. As Stretch has lost the car on the exit of turn 1, and he has left the session and has caused a virtual safety car, unfortunately for the other drivers. Hopefully this doesn't get upgraded to a full safety car, as this could ruin the strategy of a lot of drivers and cause a lot of chaos in this race. But at the moment it looks like only the virtual safety car will be coming out for this one at the moment, as David and Takeo will they pit? Will they stay out? It looks like at the moment it looks like David's boxing, and Takeo is staying out. The 2 leaders have switched, they have split strategy, and David's boxing, but no one else is into the pits. Everyone else stays out. Natty's also into the pit lane, but everyone else has stayed out on their medium compound tyres. Tiger has stayed out on his hards, obviously. Wiggly Styles into pit lane for Mercedes, so Mercedes splitting the difference again. Stretch has left the session, of course, and his AI will box. But looks like Natty's gone on to softs, and David has opted for the medium. So could this be a big mistake from the McLaren, or could it be a big mistake from the Mercedes? Only time will tell. But at the moment, it is VR Takeo in P1 by 2.1 seconds, and the gap now between Takeo and David is 17 seconds. So if there were to be another safety car, I think Takeo would keep the lead. But if the race were to finish like this, if the race were not to have another safety car, and race to end with no interruptions, then Taker would definitely have to box again and would have to put on a new set, which would be David, but maybe not for long, as David has picked up a 3-second time penalty in the middle sector. So disaster for the McLaren driver, who is dropped to P7 after his pit stop and has not got DRS on Bonnie, who decides to box 1 lap after the safety car restart. Run lap after the virtual safety car. He doesn't have damage, so I'm not sure why he didn't box the lap before. Interesting strategy from the Red Bull driver, maybe trying to confuse his opponents, but at the moment David will be looking for the move on the Aston Martin of Tiger Assassin, but all the while Taker is just extending his lead at the moment. But 7/10 is the gap as of right now, but that might increase, that might decrease and eventually increase once the McLaren has gotten past the Aston Martin. Let's look how much more grit David has than Tiger Assassin out of sector 2. He's gonna look for the move. He's not gonna even wait to the main straight. He's gonna look for the move down this little mini straight here. We have Mexico, and he's up into P5, wasting no time at all getting past Aston Martin. He's up into P5 and now only 8.7 seconds off Pierre and Toussaint, who are both into the pit lane. So maybe strategical mistakes, as Pierre had to service 5 seconds as well. Should these guys have boxed under the VSC, this could be massive mistakes from both. Both are onto the soft compound tyres. But the good thing for Taker right now is that if he boxes, he will box onto a set of new soft compound tyres, which he can definitely take to the end. So he'd be able to hunt down the McLaren driver. But the McLaren driver might hold out with the pace, but at the moment the ERS levels is not looking good for McLaren, as Taker has about 20% more ERS than his main rival in this race. And don't rule out Toaster. Maybe if the top two collide, Toaster is definitely there to pick up the pieces. He's had good pace so far in this Mexican GP, but unfortunately for him, he does have a lot of penalties. I believe 9 seconds. That might have changed. It is 9 seconds. It's still 9 seconds. So that will cost him in his race, as he boxes for new soft compound tyres and Piero picks up 3 seconds. I wonder if Toaster sped there, as he looked very hot into the pit lane. But now is P1 and P2 again, as David sets fastest lap 1:17.0. Let's look at the fastest lap for Taker. It's a 1:17.3 at the moment. So the McLaren clearly has a lot more pace as it stands, and Tiger Assassin is up into P3. And maybe he could be one to watch in this race. Although he is on the worst compound tyre, if the guys behind unable to catch up, he could finish P3 on his hard compound tyres. The 10 laps is a long way to go, and a lot of these guys have fresh tyres, but he's only on 6 seconds of penalty, so he could hang it out, as Toaster has emerged in front of Toussaint, which is good for the Aston Martin driver, who maintains his position. Natty is right on the back of these two as well, and Piero has dropped about 4 seconds, and that will be due to his 5-second time penalty which he needed to serve. TX4 has had a pretty quiet race after lap 1, where he saw him get spin around. He's now back up to P8. Bonnie is down to P9. ADRT Wiggly Style, who spun I think or had contact with someone else, is down into P10, as Stretch, who left the session, is P1. But Taker is into the pit lane. He's in for new softs. But look at the gap. The gap has just increased massively to David. Will he be able it's around 8 seconds. Will he be able to hunt down the McLaren and gain 8 seconds by the end of this race? Remember, the McLaren does have fairly fresh medium tyres as well, so it'll be a big ask. But remember, Taker does not have a penalty, so he only needs to close into about 5 seconds, which is to within 3 seconds, which is about 5 seconds away at the moment. So it'll be a very interesting end to this NRL Tier 1 Grand Prix, as Takeo is going to set up a spicy final 3 laps to this race on the soft compound tyre, hunting down David, his P1, who boxed under the ref safety car. But Takeo also has a lot more ERS, and he's going to look for the move on Tiger Assassin. Unlike David, he waits until the main straight. He's just preserving his tyres at the moment, saving ERS. He sets fastest Sector 2 already. Stunning pace from the Mercedes, and he's already on the back of Tiger Assassin. And look at the gap from Toaster to Takeo, who's right in the back of Tiger. It's only 3.2 seconds now. So I think those hard compound tyres on the Aston Martin are dead, and we could see him fall down the order towards maybe P5, P6, as I think Natty might have made him quite far behind his teammate, who now gets past Toaster for P4 in this race. And Piero doesn't really have the pace at the moment to catch up to the guys in front, but now there's no cars between them. It's Takeo versus David until the end of this race. The gap is 7.2 seconds, but Takeo only needs to get it down to under 3 seconds to win this race, as David has a 3-second time penalty. But of course that could be removed, but it'll be an all-out brawl between the two heavyweights today in these final 8 laps of this Grand Prix. Takeo, purple sector 1 and purple sector 2, he's setting the timing balls alight, and the gap is already down to 6.7 seconds. I don't know if the McLaren driver will be able to hold on here, as the Mercedes is flying at the moment. TH4 players has lost it. He's lost out sector 2, but luckily for him, he hasn't got any visual damage. However, he might have just tapped the wall, but he escapes a massive incident and getting damaged, but those tyres are clearly overheated. You see him sliding around the final 3 corners, the final few corners of the lap. But Hussein and Toaster are having a bit of a duel. Tiger Assassin's running a bit of track in front on those hard compound tyres. He's not able to defend. Toaster's going to have a look around the outside of the Alpine driver. He's going to give the Alpine a bit of a squeeze, but he gets them moved on. Toaster is defending for his life and defending his teammates P3. Maybe, yeah, he will be defending his teammates P3, as he has 9 seconds of penalties, so will not be able to compete towards the end of the race. But all this is just frustrating to Sate, who needs to make a move, and needs to make one now if he wants to have any chance of getting of picking up the scraps if the top 2 make contact. And in the meantime, Piero has closed to within the DRS of Natty G, who has seemingly struggled after making a mistake, I believe. But Toussaint is going to be attacking Toaster, who's going to be attacking his teammate. Toaster's going to go for the move before the DRS zone. Tiger's going to have nothing to defend with. Toussaint's going to go for the double move on the Aston Martins down towards turn 1. Can the Alpine driver make it work around the outside? He's going to leave the space on the inside. Barely keeps it within the track limits, but Toussaint has made the move, and he's up into P3 in this race. And whilst that has been happening, it's a 3-second time penalty for Takeo. 3-second time penalty for Takeo, which means he will now have to overtake David on track if he wants to win this race. But Toussaint, with a beautiful double move on the Aston Martins, he's up into P4 in this race. But let's have a quick look at the penalties, as Piero also got past Natty on that straight. As it stands, Tiger will move back up into P4, and Toaster will drop to P7 at the moment. So that would not be great news if you're at the Aston Martin camp. But as I said, that Tiger picks up a 3-second time penalty, and so does Piero at the same corner. Almost deja vu for the Red Bull driver, who maybe followed the Aston Martin into the mistake. But the gap at the front is down to 3.8 seconds in a penalty that is going to be decided by penalties. In a race that's going to be decided by penalties. But here comes Toaster. Toussaint's weaving down the straight. Topes is going to go to the inside anyways. He's late on the brakes. He's on the grass. But the Aston Martin makes it work. But Toussaint is going to fight it back. Topes gives him a bit of a squeeze. Toussaint is off the track. But Toussaint's not going to have it down towards turn 4. Topster is going to look for the move again. Is he going to go around the outside of the Alpine? Yes, he is. They make contact a bit. Pierro's got him past Tiger Assassin for P5 in this race. But Topster makes a brilliant move and is now up into P3 in this Mexican Grand Prix. What an overtake by the Aston Martin on the Alpine driver, and the gap at the front is down to 3 seconds now. Will Taco be able to catch David before the end of this race and win it? Look at the ERS level, 40%. Neither of them need to make mistakes. They have to both be perfect to the end of this race. Neither can pick up another 3-second time penalty, as it will definitely drop them out of contention. But the gap is 2.6, but we're going to have another duel between the Aston Martins, the Alpine, and the Red Bull of Pierro's. Tiger Assassin is going to be under attack again, but this time from the other Alpine of Natty G. Here comes Toussaint. There's weaving down the straight, but he's going to go around the outside of Topster. He misses his braking point and actually picks up another 3-second time penalty, but he gets the move done on Topster. But Topster's going to switch him back. Pierro has a bit of a moment on the exit, which means he will not be able to challenge them on challenge Topster or Toussaint into turn 4, but actually he goes for the move anyway. Topster leaves the space, but Pierro is going to make it work around the outside. He runs a bit deep into the corner. Bonival is round at the back, but Topster defends his position and keeps P4 in this race, and the gap at the front is now down to 2.3 seconds. Taco has taken about 7 tenths out in that previous lap, so at this rate he will just about catch the McLaren driver before the end of this race and possibly have a chance to attack him. But David does have a lot more ERS than the Mercedes at the moment. But I'm watching this battle for P3, which is definitely heating up, as I believe Toussaint picked up another 3-second time penalty. So as it stands, Natty could be on the podium if he's close enough to Toussaint, which at the moment he will just about be. But Natty, we could see the Alpine driver on the podium, as Tiger hasn't been able to do anything on those hard compound tyres. It's unfortunate for him not being able to hold up any of these drivers. They just flown past him. But Wiggly Styles also had a pretty poor race after incident at turn 2-3. I'm not sure what happened there, but it's a great battle between the Aston Martins, the Alpines, and of course that singular Red Bull of Pierro, who's flying the flag high for the French drivers in NRL P5 at the moment. But the gap at the front is 1.5 seconds. Surely Taco will get the DRS, but he makes a bit of a mistake into the stadium section, but doesn't lose too much time. Surely if he keeps on at this pace, he will be within the DRS of the McLaren driver on the next lap. The McLaren driver has to do everything he can now to try and stop the Mercedes from taking the win in today's race. But it's going to be difficult for the McLaren, as he just doesn't have the grip on those medium tyres. Here we go again. Tosa is going to attack Toussaint down towards turn 1. Toussaint is weaving desperately. Toussaint is going to squeeze the Aston Martin to the outside, but Tosa is going to make the move work anyways. He's up into P3 in this race, and now Pierro can now have a look at Toussaint. He's been sitting behind quietly, but now that Alpine doesn't have DRS, maybe he can have a look down the inside. No, he's just going to stick behind for now, as Natty's actually fallen 3.5 of this battle. But Toaster makes a bit of a mistake, going to give Toussaint a bit of a look into the double chicane. They nearly make contact. Oh, Toussaint has a massive moment, and Pierro's into the wall and he's out. Pierro is out of the Mexican Grand Prix. A massive mistake from Toussaint meant Pierro almost got, I think he got baited into the same mistake and is unfortunately out of this race. And that is disaster for Red Bull at the end, but there won't be any safety cars. But Taco is now within the DRS and now has the chance to win this race. He's going to wait for the last lap to go for the last lap overtake to try and win this race. TH4 is in the barriers. Doesn't have any wing damage, fortunately, so I think just a spin. But disaster for Red Bull at the end, whose special helmets haven't really paid off. But here comes Tiger. He's going to look for the move on Natty. He's back up into P5 in this race. Natty's going to fight it around the outside. Tiger versus Natty on the hard compound tyres. Natty has been put in the wall by Tiger. Tiger just couldn't get the rotation on the hard compound tyres and has forced Natty into the wall. But Natty will have another chance to attack the Aston Martin down towards turn 1 on the final lap if he doesn't have any damage, which it doesn't look like he does at the moment. And Toussaint will also be looking for that last lap overtake on Toaster after they have battled so vigorously throughout this race. But let's see what the Alpine can do. But let's of course keep our eyes on the front. Here comes Takeo, final lap. He has no ERS, but neither does David. Will he get the move down towards turn 1? Takeo around the outside on the final lap. He's going to make the move around the outside. David's going to fight it. They make contact. But Takeo is down the inside. He leaves the room. And Takeo is up into P1. And David has picked up another 3-second time penalty. So that means Takeo will win this Mexican Grand Prix. If he doesn't make any major mistakes, Takeo is going to be your winner of the race at the moment as it stands. What a fantastic drive from the Mercedes to catch back up. Toussaint is trying everything he can to get back past Toaster and it up into P3 in this race. But at the moment it doesn't look like it, and it looks like Natty either got damage from that incident or his tyres are completely dead as he's fallen that 3 seconds from Toussaint, from Tiger, sorry. So will not attack him towards the end of this race. But it looks like this man, Takeo, he came out all guns roaring today and has come round the final corner to win the Mexican Grand Prix. The reigning champion is in champions form once again. P1 for Takeo. He wins the Mexican Grand Prix ahead of David in P2. He puts up the best fight he could today, but ultimately in the end it wasn't to be for the McLaren driver as the confetti is going off in the stadium section. Toaster will run towards the line. He will finish today's race in P4 after Toussaint moves up to P3 on penalties. Tiger will run up to the line. Let's see where the Aston Martin will finish. He finishes P5. Natty, I think, will jump up the order into P5 for the Alpine. So P3 and P5 Alpine, strong showing. Wiggly Star finishes 7 thousandths off Tiger Assassin in P6. So it's P7 for the Mercedes driver. TH4 players will come across the line to finish P8, followed by Bonnie, who I think might be going for fastest lap. He's currently 9 tenths up. Let's see if he will get it. He runs a bit wide of the final corner and he's spun, and he will not be getting fastest lap. He will just be getting some rear wing damage as he crosses the line in P9, and Stretch RT's obviously lagged out earlier in the session, so will not have finished, so will not be awarded any points. Toussaint winning drive of the day. I agree with that. A great drive from the Barbadian driver who put himself up into P3 after some very intense battling with Toaster. There's some great battling for the P3 race and some great battling at the front, but in the end Takeo comes out on top. What a race from the Mercedes Starboy, who wins yet another race in NRL, which gives him 8 race wins in NRL history now, I believe. Great stuff there as he celebrates with James Allison. But it's P1, of course, for Mercedes. Once again, they could catch up to McLaren, closing the gap to McLaren in the constructors. But let's run through the final order. Takeo P1 with a dominant performance. David finishes P2 after putting up the best, one of the greatest fights we've seen in NRL history. Toussaint P3 after an amazing battle with Toaster for P4. Natty finishes P5 after some contact with Tiger Assassin, which saw him drop back quite a bit. Tiger Assassin finishes P6 on the hard compound tyres, made the one stop somewhat work, but not really in his favour. ADRT Wiggly Star finishes P7, was the only driver not to pick up, I believe. So kudos to the Swedish driver. TH4 Players 10 finishes P8 in the Alfa Romeo. Bonnie P9, and Stretch, who left the session, will not be awarded any points. Piero, Stein, Iris, M Cloud, get on my force. All the DNFs from today's race, and you have to feel for Piero, who, I don't know, it was just an unfortunate incident at the end for the Red Bull driver, who unfortunately could not be awarded any points in today's race. But some great action today, and what a win from Takeo, who will take the championship lead by 1 point, one singular point, because David did not get fastest lap last time out in Jeddah. So Takeo takes the championship lead by 1 point to Euro David in P2. Toussaint finished in P3, so he'll jump up the standing. Toaster P4, Natty P5. Good weekend for both Alpine and Aston Martin. Also a decent weekend for Mercedes as they get P1 and P7. TH4 will be up. Will get Alfa Romeo's first points of the season in P8, and Bonnie P9 for Red Bull, and was looking like a promising P5, P9 finish for the Red Bull team, ended to be just a P9 after Piero's incident at the end, and Stretch of course did not finish this race. But it's been a great race to commentate, and thank you for all of you that tuned into the stream. I hope to see you all next week again for PS Tier 1 Portugal Grand Prix, so that will be interesting. But make sure to join our stream tomorrow of PS Tier 3 around Mexico, and on Thursday of PC Tier 1. So I've been VR F1 Lover commentating today, and I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you all next week, where I'll be commentating Tier 2 on Monday. So thank you for watching, and see you all next week.